Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Kat and Happy New Year everybody. Thank God 2020 is over. We are finally into 2021 and I am just so ready for everything from last year to just not be a thing anymore. Oh my god, I'm ready to not have people be sick and it's just, oh my god. But for today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at all of the different makeup brands that I'm really excited to try this year. Surprisingly, 99% of it is indie brands because I don't know what it is with indie brands these days, but they are just, they look awesome and like the quality has been so good on all of the indie brands that I tried towards the end of last year, and so I am just super duper hyped to see what the indie brands are going to be doing for this year. And so there are a bunch of them, and then there's one mainstream luxury brand. I know, why would I want to dip my toe in luxury brands again when it's been nothing but just complete horror for me up until now? But there is one makeup brand that I thought might be kind of fun to try a couple things from. No complexion products though. There will not be any luxury foundation anytime soon in my future. But the first brand that I wanted to talk about is going to be Suva Beauty. Part of what I like about them that is intriguing for me is that they have a lot of these Hydra Liners, which I think is really neat, and part of why I'm wanting to use more of the Hydro Aqua liners is that like trying to mix alcohol and whatever else with my makeup to attempt to make it work is just a level of science that I don't want to have to deal with. And so all of these are just water activated, and I actually have picked up one set. These are the UV Hydra Liners that they have, and comes with a little bit of a brush as well as just all of the neon shades, and you just use water to activate the liner. And I know you're probably wondering, why am I wanting to get liners when I literally in the entire history of my channel have never ever done a liner on my eye? Well, the reason for that is that in 2021 I am really wanting to try and kind of expand outside of my comfort zone into more of like the face art side of things, and so I figured that the aqua liners would be perfect for that because you can do a lot more detail work. And so I already got some brushes that would really be able to help me with that are very fine tipped, and I believe one of the companies was Cut Creaser that I got that from. They have some really great brushes. I think they just came out recently with like a pack of like 4 or 5 different length brushes that you can use for doing different types of detail and line work. And so really interested in getting into that side of things and trying to just increase my skill even just a smidge. And so I thought that Suva Beauty, they have just a huge shade range for all of these liners. They also have several different types of brushes. They do also have a couple palettes that are just regular pressed pigment shadows. So you've got like the rainbow one, which does have pressed glitters in the bottom half, and so I don't know how interested I would be in that one, but they have a couple of neutral ones that are really pretty as well. But primarily the liners are what's really drawing me to this company. Then the next brand up that I'm really interested in trying is going to be Kevyn Aucoin's brand. And part of why I'm interested in that is that in 2020 I tried the Makeup by Mario line and was very pleasantly surprised with the quality. And I feel like Kevyn Aucoin has a really similar aesthetic and packaging and lots of metallics and shimmer shades for the eyeshadows. And so I thought that it would be kind of fun to try that out, as well as some of the lip products that they have. And he has like this really interesting kind of rainbowy blush that starts off like more peachy and then goes to like a rosy and then red. And so I thought that was kind of pretty to try out as well. And I just think some of the packaging aesthetic, the way that it's all put together, is really pretty. And so I thought, you know, I could give it a go and see if it ends up being something that I like. Yeah, I just thought that overall the products looked really pretty. The packaging was nice and it wasn't super duper expensive. I mean, it's certainly not drugstore pricing, but it's also not luxury brand pricing either. And so I thought it would just be kind of something fun to test out. And along those same lines, I wanted to take a look at Wayne Goss's makeup brand. And the primary reason for that is the Pearl Moonstone Luxury Eye palette that he had. I mean, he had several other neutral palettes come out prior to that were like smoky neutrals, but then this one came out and it's like a cool toned smoky eye with lots of grays and like this metallic shade that looks kind of bluish gray. And given how much I loved the cool tones in the Lunar Beauty Eternal Eclipse palette that I recently got, I thought that the Pearl Moonstone palette looked really, really pretty and that I would be very interested in trying that out as well. Part of why I didn't try out Wayne Goss's makeup brand sooner is that the first launch was just a bunch of lipsticks, which, as we know, I'm not a huge fan of lipsticks in general. I tend to stick more for glosses or lip stains, and that's kind of it, because lipsticks are, I don't know, I don't like the formulas for most lipsticks, and I have trouble staying in the lines anyway, which is why it's also so ironic that I'm wanting to get into line work for, you know, face art, because if I can't even stay in the lines on my lips, how am I supposed to draw something detailed on my face? But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But then the next launch that he had was these 3 makeup brushes that were just so absurdly expensive. I think it was like, for the 3 of them, like $175 or something like that. And it just was so much. And I was like, I cannot do this, it's too much. But then he started coming out with the eyeshadow palettes, and I think that's really where the company for me really started to hit its stride, where I was like, I am super duper interested in this. And so like the first, I think he had the Imperial Topaz was one neutral one that he had, and then he also had just the Luxury Eye Palette as its own with like the black shade. But then really once he hit that Pearl Moonstone one, that was where he kind of had me. And then I didn't even know that he had come out with like blush highlight duo palettes, but he did. And there are a couple of them that look really, really nice. The Bright Poppy one that has this like kind of corally pink blush and then a more goldish highlight was really, really pretty. And then he also had this bright pink one with like a white highlighter and just several really, really pretty shades. I would not mind trying those blushes, and from what I've seen from the reviews, they have been very, very popular and the quality has been really good. And so definitely for this year, I'm wanting to test out his makeup, see if I like it, and see what else he comes up with, because it seems like the more releases he's having, the more the brand is really starting to catch its stride and then find like what kind of tone it's wanting to have, and I love it. I'm here for everything, and so really excited to try that one out. Next up is another one that is well outside my comfort zone that I've mentioned a couple times in past videos, and that is Denise and Myrick's. I am well aware that the majority of the products that Denise and Myrick's has are all cream-based, which is horrifying for me. And so I mean, given how well things went in my Rare Beauty video that I had done like a month or 2 ago when that first came out, cream does not sit well with me. And so I am just terrified to try this brand. But as I'd mentioned before, I will be dipping my toe into testing them out by getting some of the multi-chrome liquid liners that they have. Those look really, really pretty to me. I'm definitely very, very intimidated, but I really want to try a lot of this stuff out. So Denise and Myrick's as a whole, I am no longer going to let myself continue to be intimidated. I am going to test out the makeup from this brand. Boom. Then we have 3 different makeup brands that are kind of similar in what I am looking to test out from them. And that is going to be Shine by SD, Divina Cosmetics, and then MBA Cosmetics. And they are 3 brands that are all indie brands. They just have a ton of single eyeshadows. And as we know, I love single eyeshadows. I have so many. And so I think what I'm going to be doing for some of the first lives that I'm going to try this year, because that's another thing where I'm going to attempt to step out of my comfort zone and do something that I'm just terrified of, is I'm going to try and do a couple lives for you guys. And so I think for that, that'll be when I really just kind of show you guys all of my single eyeshadows that I have, and we'll do some swatches and try out some different makeup looks with all of them, because oh, they're so pretty. I love all of them. But Shine by SD and then Divina and MBA Cosmetics, they all just have a ton of single eyeshadows, and you can get different kinds of bundles. And so like Shine by SD, I did during the Black Friday sale, I did pick up a ton of eyeshadows from Shine by SD, and so I do now have those. I have not tested them out yet, but you can just see so many different types of shades, and part of why you have to kind of grab them quickly is, as you can also see, they sell out super duper quick on a lot of their stuff, and so you have to really jump quickly to to grab the things before they sell out. But there are just so many really pretty shades, multi-chromes, duochromes, metallics, mattes, literally whatever your heart desires, you can get them. And so I think that I am very much looking forward to testing out all 3 of them. I know that Divina does also offer, in addition to eyeshadow singles, they also have bronzers and highlights and quite a few other face products as well. And they're also singles, and so it's kind of neat because you can just really build your own palette, and that is something that I am very into lately, is not buying just these massive face palettes that have like 5 or 6 shades in there that I'm never going to be able to use because there's only like 1 or 2 that work with my skin complexion. And so I love that brands like Divina and Lethal Cosmetics, that they are coming out with all of these face products that are just singles where you can build your own palettes. I absolutely love that because then you can really tailor it towards whatever skin type you have. So I think that's just awesome. Like Lethal Cosmetics coming out with all of the different blushes and bronzer contour shades that they have. And oh man, those bronzer contours, the awesome gray undertones that so many of them had, I was really impressed with that, because I feel like these days it's just like
people will advertise everything as being like, this is a contour palette. This is a bunch of bronzers because they're all like these orangey undertones. And I'm like, isn't the whole point of contour supposed to be that it's like a gray undertone because you're wanting to create like a shadow that has more of a grayish tone, not just glowing up your face? Like, I don't want my contour to be glowing. I want it to look like a shadow.
And so I always kind of wondered why companies just kept pushing out, you know, it is essentially just bronzers, but calling it a contour palette. And then NBA Cosmetics, in addition to having all of the single eyeshadows, they also have the Aqua Liners, much like Suva Beauty does. And so I'm going to test out some of theirs as well, just because I really want to kind of see maybe if one company is better than the other for formula. And so I really am interested in trying NBA Cosmetics out. And some of these eyeshadow singles that they have, like they have this psychedelic summer one that has all of these interesting swirls on it that I thought was kind of cool, and so I wouldn't mind trying that. Then they have a whole bunch of metallic shades, so just all kinds of things that I would really be interested in testing out. And so I wanted to kind of put those 3 companies together just because they're all sort of along the same thought process of that I want the single eyeshadows and then a couple of the other products that they might offer as well. So those were all kind of the same to me. Then the next one that I was really interested in testing out is going to be Glamlight. And part of why I have held off on getting Glamlight in the past is that, I mean, as you can see, the product shapes for the palettes is just these massive things that are just like the Cake palette and the Paint Pro palette. They are just these palettes that are like this big, where it's just like, how am I even supposed to store that? And even some of the smaller ones, like the 2 donut palettes that they have, those are also still like this big, and then it's a squishy thing on top, and so it's thick on top of being large. And so it's just like, I don't have a ton of space, and I don't like awkwardly shaped palettes, and so I just really, that has been kind of the biggest turnoff to me, because color scheme wise, very appealing, and it seems like quality wise, from what everyone that I've heard reviews from also really likes them quality wise. So it's just, the packaging has really been the only thing that's been turning me off to them. But then recently they came out with this one palette that was the Ice Cream palette, the Ice Cream Dream palette, excuse me. And that one in particular, even though it came in this massive like ice cream truck box, the palette itself inside of there was normal, like rectangular square shaped, and it was flat. And so that to me is great, because then I can actually store it properly. And that's all I really want, is to be able to store things like a normal human being, instead of having to figure out where I'm gonna put like 2 eyeshadow palettes because they take up my whole drawer because they're this freaking big. But I am very interested in testing them out, because they do just have so many awesome rainbowy colors, and we know that I love super duper colorful makeup, and so I just really would love to try them out. And hopefully they're going to continue to have some more normal shaped palettes out there. But I think also part of why I am more accepting of the packaging now is that I found out the reasoning behind the packaging, And it was primarily that the owner of the company used to have a really negative relationship with food. And so the packaging that she came up with was kind of her way of just getting the fun back to where she wasn't just hating food and just not, you know, not having a healthy relationship with it. And so I thought that was really, really cool to take something that had been problematic for her and put a positive spin on it so that it could be something that she enjoys again. I thought that was really, really awesome. And so I wouldn't mind supporting, you know, an owner that was able to kind of turn a negative into a positive. I think that was really, really awesome. And one of the other things that I definitely want to try from this company is going to be all of the lip glosses. So they have a whole bunch of just these different flavor lip glosses. And from what I've heard, some of them are scented and some of them are not. And so I need to make sure that I'm just getting the scented ones. But they have just all of these different food themed ones. They have red velvet, eggnog, horchata, which BT dubs, if you don't live in the Southwest, horchata is a like milky chai type beverage that is just, oh, it's so good. And since moving out to Arizona, it was like my first time experiencing it, and it is delicious. Oh my God, so good. There's just all the cinnamony, creamy goodness. Oh, I love it. And so I really kind of want to get that one. And then they have one with churros and several that are like alcoholic beverage themed, where you have like different types of margaritas. And it just, I love all of the different themes of everything. They have a donut glazed one, a hot chocolate, cinnamon, s'mores, just everything that you could possibly want flavor wise, they've got it. And so I love me a good scented lip gloss. So definitely want to try those out 100%. And then the last of the indie brands that I'm wanting to try out is going to be Menagerie Cosmetics. And I am still kicking myself for not having gotten the eyeshadow palettes that were interesting me like earlier last year, where every single time I would see them, I'd be like, those are real pretty. I should get them. And then I would hold off and I wouldn't get it. And now they're discontinuing one of them and the other one is sold out. And it's just like, why do you do this to yourself? Why do you put yourself in these situations where you know you want it, just get it, and then you don't have to deal with the just super upsetting, just you missed out, why'd you do that? Ugh. But I definitely want to try Menagerie Cosmetics out. I love all of the packaging, all of the cute animals that they have on all of the palettes, and it just, oh, they're so pretty. Just even looking at it now, the violet ink one and the whale song, I want them both so badly, but they're stupid discontinuing the violet ink one. But the nice thing with Menagerie Cosmetics is that they do offer also the single eyeshadows, and interestingly enough, you can do the build your own, but they also have all of the singles for all of the shades that are in each of their eyeshadow palettes. And so if for some reason you did miss out on one of the palettes like I did, you could still potentially get the shade at least outside of the packaging, because you can get it as a single. So like all of those ones that are the ink palette one, you can get all of them as singles. And so that's okay. I can still at least pick up the colors even if I don't get to have the cute packaging. But they do have a bunch, and right now everything on their website is showing that it's sold out, because it is still the like holiday time where the shop is closed, where they're trying to make more of everything and kind of catch back up, so that when the shop does open back up, probably at some point in January, you're going to be able to get everything, because it'll all be restocked. That's the only reason why, as we're scrolling through, everything is like sold out on everything. It's because they're restocking all of their products. And they did recently also come out with a really cool blush palette that had 9 different shades of blush, and some of them were actually pretty interesting, where they had like more of a yellowish orangey tone, and then some deep reds and some purples. And so it really was something where for whatever complexion you had, there was a shade that you could get. And so I thought that was really, really nice. The palette itself is super cute, and they offer all of them again as singles as well, and so you can build your own palette for different types of blushes too, which I really, really enjoy. So for the last one, Rogue was going to join us for a second. She just really wanted to be on camera, you know, new year, new her. She's so pretty. But the company that's going to be the last one that we're going to talk about, interestingly enough, is going to be Marc Jacobs. Thank you so much for the tail on the face. And part of why I am interested in them is that they came out with, you know, last year the kind of cherries packaging for some of their products, and I don't know why, but I really liked it. I didn't pick up anything, but it was like, well, it's more interesting than the usual packaging that they have, which was fairly sort of plain packaging, didn't really stand out. And so I really liked the kind of mint green with the cherries. It gave me definitely kind of like a 1950s vibe, which I really liked. And so I wouldn't mind trying out a couple of those. And some of the shades that they have for a few of their eyeshadow palettes are actually pretty interesting, kind of grungy with like these olivey greenish gold shades. And so I wouldn't mind trying out a couple of those. And then interestingly enough, recently I did get a Marc Jacobs lip product in one of my subscription boxes. And this is super duper purple looking, but I actually have it on my mouth right now and it is not purple. It is just this kind of light gloss. And so I was very pleasantly surprised by that. And it does have a bit of a plumping effect where it's kind of sort of minty. It not so much smell, but it definitely is just kind of I don't know, it's got like that kind of mint thing going on, and it's not super sticky at all. So I was pleasantly surprised, and it really just kind of made me think, well, they didn't screw up the lip gloss. Since my trend with all luxury brands has just not been great at all, I was very happy to see that I just at least got one good product, and so I wouldn't mind kind of testing out a few more things from Marc Jacobs to see if some of the other products are also okay. But that is all of the makeup brands that I'm interested in trying for 2021 that I have not really had a chance to test out yet. Obviously, the ones that are my tried and true makeup brands that I just absolutely loved from 2020, I'm gonna continue to use the crap out of those. But definitely excited to kind of test out some of these makeup brands. Let me know down in the comments, you know, if you guys have tried any of these companies already, you know, what your thoughts are on them. If there's any makeup brands that you haven't had a chance to try out yet that you're excited to, you know, give it a go with in 2021, let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. Maybe even get some more ideas of other companies that I didn't even think of that I might want to try out. So let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs down if you disagreed with literally everything I said. That's cool too. I like all comments regardless. And if you made it to the end of this video, I think you should subscribe. You know, come join my YouTube family. I love getting to know you guys, talking to you guys more. It's so fun to come across more people that just love makeup as much as I do. So come into the fold, join me for 2021 as we have all kinds of adventures, and you can see my journey through cream products and learning how to do face liner and everything. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. But that is my video, and welcome to 2021, you guys. We made it through the crappiest year ever. And just go out there and have a good one.